Hi there, it's Lori at Positive Thanks Living, and last week we made a masterboard, just a plain one with plain text and music, and then we colored it and we made some things from it. This week we're going to see what we can do with texture paste, and then also I'm going to introduce something that I can use all these things that I make. This is a die cut from a masterboard, but I've added texture paste. It's really cool to try and make things out of this texture paste. I used two different kinds of methods to make designs. Maybe that's the word. Yeah, so starting with this plain thing, and then adding paste and color. This is what I used. It's light and fluffy. I've made my own texture paste before from cornstarch and glue and a little bit of water, which works fine, but I didn't like the gritty nature. So I thought I'd try this light and fluffy kind, and it is light and fluffy, and it's really cool when you heat it up. Now this, I think it's been around for a number of years, maybe 4 or 5 years. See, it's like icing, I guess. Yeah, the texture of icing. And this is one technique I used, just swiping it onto the plain masterboard. And the other technique is using a stencil or different kinds of stencils. Here's a note. If you're going to want to die cut something, do that first before you add the texture paste. So, and here's the stencil. It's really important that you wash your palette or whatever you're using to pull the stencil paste out, and also your stencil very quickly, because when this dries, it's hard to get off. Ask me how I know. So on one side of this masterboard, I have it sort of just swiped on, and it's a little clumpy in places. And when it dries, this particular one, I'm going to try and show you how it works. When it dries, it poofs up. It's really cool. I didn't notice that in the other texture paste that I used. And a little bit on, I'm going to show you. Yeah, see? You can bend it, you can twist it, you can do anything, and the texture paste does not come off. It's cool. Here I add some color using Gelatos. These are Faber Castel. They are iridescent colors. And when you add water, you can paint with them, really. It's cool. I want to welcome you back. I want to say hello to all the new subscribers, and I invite you to subscribe if you're enjoying this. Give me a like. I appreciate when I can communicate with you in comments. It's lovely to be in this community. This masterboard collaging experience, I'm going to expand it a little bit and find ways to use these masterboard tags or whatever else I make and put it in a journal. But that's a little further along in the video. Now, have you ever tried texture paste? Leave me a comment. Give me some tips or some oopses maybe, or some successes. Please leave a comment. I'd love to talk about this with you in the comments. Yeah, this is called a flick and spritz. Yeah, there's a artist that I've been watching. Her name is Alison Bomba, and she makes stamps, and she uses this technique with distress spray. Her term is spritz and flick. Yeah, I've been having fun with that. I recommend her. I'll link below to her channel. Her voice and cadence of her speech reminds me of the actress. Oh, she played the Queen on the Netflix series. Her name escapes me right now. Anyhow, this is Distress ink. It is Distress Oxide. And this is Robin's Egg Blue or Speckled Egg. That's what it is. And I'm trying to use all kinds of spring colors because I'm also doing the 100-day project. And I'm doing spring words for that. So all of the tags that I make have different spring words, whether they're stamped on there or whether I have tried my hand at practicing lettering. Not successful enough yet. But I also die cut using the Cricut some words out of paper, and I've been using those also on the tags. So spritzing on the Distress Oxide ink, it creates a mottled effect. It's really cool. And back to drying. And you can see the paint, the texture paste poofs up again. It's really cool. I'm enjoying this texture of the texture paste, the light and fluffy, and I'm enjoying the aspects of how it goes down on the paper and doesn't come back off again. So here we go. See, I can bend it, I can twist it, I can rub my hand over it. Nope, doesn't come back off. And once the paint, the Distress ink and the Gelatos are dry, they don't come off on your fingers either. So I made this die cut, and it's really cool. And then I added the stencil paste after. And yeah, it was just one of those masterboards that the video before this one I swiped some acrylic paint on. And then I used tracing paper. I also did the die cut of some of the faux stamps, and I added the texture paste afterward. And I think they would make really cool focal points. Again, I'm going to explore all this in the project to come. I've been stamping words with these letters that click together. On the middle point where Grow Lush is 2 pieces of tracing paper, so you can still see the design underneath. And see, you can add the Distress Oxide after it's dried. Make the images or the stenciled parts stand out. Now I made this journal, and it has some memories for me. The digitals are from Amy at Crafty Cat USA, and I'm using this as a writing journal. The paper there you see is from my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary in 1980-ish, 81, 82. They were married 50 years, and my mom had kept all their cards. And when I moved my mom out of her condo into long-term care, I brought the cards home with me. So I've been pulling them apart and using the backs of them to cover things in this journal. I've been looking at planner people and how they cut out their pages, so that's where the inspiration for this came from. Just layering the digitals. I'm going to show you a picture of my grandparents when they were married and when they were married 50 years. So it has special memories for me. And this journal started out as an envelope. Actually, the envelope that the cruising magazine came in. Remember that? Where I made a cascading element from it. Oh, and I guess I'm still doing cascading. See there with those images on the edges of the paper. And including some of the work that I've been doing with the masterboards. So all next week, I'm going to have some short videos showing me put together a journal just like the one you saw. Well, minus my grandparents' backs of cards because I've used them. These are the papers I'm going to use, and the purpose will be to create a writing journal. I mean, obviously, you could do other things with it if you wanted to, but the papers I chose would be conducive to writing. And that envelope that I'm going to use as the base is actually a Tyvek envelope, so it has a little more heft. These are the digitals, and this particular one I used in the front and the back. And I'm going to incorporate that concept on the front page of the journal I'm going to make next week, but also adding these other digitals into the pages. Isn't that a cool envelope? I love that envelope. And it's going to be more Easter themed. You see the eggs and you see the chick and the bunnies. Yeah. So I fussy cut all of those little flowers. And I'll be using them in the journal. Whether they're on cards like this one, or on the edges of pages like you saw in the other journal. And I invite you to watch multiple videos next week, short ones. I think I'm better at short ones than long ones. And you can watch me put together this journal from just what you see on the table here to the finished product. I invite you to like and subscribe and leave me a comment. It really brightens my day when you do that. So here's what some of the things are going to go into this journal. And if you've done a journal, I'd love comments on suggestions on what to avoid or what to do. And if you've not made a journal and want to try, you can work alongside me, ask any questions, and I look forward to seeing you. Probably Monday will be the first video that'll come up. It's Lori at Positive Thanks Living. See you later. Bye for now.